Hello again, everybody, and welcome to this telecast of UMass Dartmouth men's varsity basketball. This the Hampton Inn Classic championship game. Nice to have Rick Jalbert alongside his UMass Dartmouth in the championship game against Husson College out of Maine. For those of you who follow Division III basketball, Husson's been a power for well over 30 years.
They certainly have. They have 17 returning players. Unfortunately, 2 of them are 1,000-point scorers that aren't returning.
And on the other side of the ledger, Coach Brian Baptiste, he's got a veteran team coming back.
Certainly does, and it's stabilized by the point guard player, Reese Freeman, and certainly solid down the middle with Dan Holbrook.
You're watching the Hampton Inn Classic. Stay tuned for the championship game. It's UMass Dartmouth hosting Husson College. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this telecast of the Hampton Inn Championship game. It's UMass Dartmouth hosting Husson College. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Rick Jalbert and Bill Young. We're coming to you from the Tripp Athletic Center here on the campus of UMass Dartmouth. And Rick Jalbert, always great to have you alongside. This should be a pretty entertaining game. UMass Dartmouth bringing in a veteran squad. Husson College, a power in Division III out of the state of Maine. They're looking for their identity, but they've recruited some very good athletes.
They do have some good players. They started off very well last night. I was speaking with the coach before the game. He said that they had a scrimmage. I don't remember who he said they scrimmaged, but that they were down 17 at the half, and he likes to draw attention to the name character on the back of their T-shirts. He said his team came back after that first half and ended up winning that game, so they don't give up. You can't lay down against these kids.
Well, they'll start number 4, Fabian Figueroa, a junior out of Storm King High School in the Bronx, New York. Brock Bradford wears number 20. Scott Kissinger had 15 points, 9 rebounds in last night's game. Devon Philbrook wears 42, and Sherrod Lee had 23 in the opening game. That's their starting lineup. And for UMass Dartmouth, coming into the season, a veteran squad coming back, coached by Brian Baptiste, Rick Jalbert, his 24th season here with 438 career victories.
He's come a long way since Hazelwood Park down in the south end of New Bedford, I can tell you that. Brian runs one of the premier programs here in Massachusetts and in Division III, for that matter, all over New England.
Well, they were winners in the opening game, having defeated Albertus Magnus College 102-51. Their starting lineup: Reese Freeman, he's a junior. Corey Tynes, as we look on at Brian, he gets a start along with New Bedford's standout athlete A.J. Tavares. Jeff Mackey had 18 in the opening game, and rounding out the starting lineup is Danny Holbrook, a senior who's also a center, averages about 17 points a game. So he's a pretty good player. Let's now tune in to our national anthem. Technical problem getting the anthem on. So we look on there at Old Glory. Rick Jalbert. This should be a pretty entertaining game. Now let's get to your keys.
The keys to today's game, according to Coach Len Dizotel, are that the Corsairs have to box out. They've got to get back in their transition defense. They press full court, but they have to get back in transition defense, and they have to push the ball on offense, get up and down the floor. They're not terribly big. However, today with Dan Holbrook, they do have the size advantage.
The head coach of Husson College is Warren Caruso. He's also inducted into their College Hall of Fame. UMass Dartmouth coached by Brian Baptiste, assisted by Len Desitals, Paul Hart, Nick Carrier, and Matt Pernick. Captains of the UMass Dartmouth team with Danny Holbrook and Reese Freeman. We get set for the opening tap, and it's controlled by UMass Dartmouth. This is Reese Freeman with the basketball.
Freeman's the quarterback.
This is Holbrook. Mackey, they're going to get him for the walk.
Mackey looking to take it hard to the basket to get the game underway. Dragged his pivot foot a little bit and guilty of the travel.
Husson College, their first possession. Figueroa. Launching one is Bradford, and he drains it. An opening three ball.
They're very dependent on the three. Corsairs have to get a hand in their face and challenge every shot.
This is Corey Tynes. Open look, A.J. Tavares, and we're tied at 3. Husson College into the front court now. Try to get the ball inside. It was deflected by Reese Freeman. However, last touch by Husson College's Brock Bradford. It'll be UMass Dartmouth basketball, and it's Reese Freeman into the front court. Holbrook down low. Up fakes, draws the foul, doesn't get the roll. However, will be going to the line.
Good job there by Holbrook getting the defender up off his feet. He being strong enough to take the hit and still continue on and make the finish, unable to do so at that time. Just had a tough angle, couldn't get to the backboard.
Holbrook's a senior. He's 6'6", 235 pounds. He's a transfer out of Westfield State.
Husson being of the mindset that because of his size, Holbrook can be taken advantage of in terms of drawing offensive fouls on him. If they get a position established and get Dan going strong to the basket, they might in fact get him in foul trouble.
Holbrook missed his free throws. This is Figueroa with the basketball. Excuse me, Sherrod Lee. I was going to say Lee was dilly-dallying out there, and they got the 5-second violation on him.
Freeman playing the tough defense on him, closely guarded for 5 seconds, becomes a turnover for Husson College.
Sherrod Lee is listed on the website at Husson College as Smart Guy. That's his nickname up there.
Free ball on the way, no.
As will oftentimes happen, the shot was released. Referee didn't see. And AJ got hit afterwards.
Tynes with the steal, and Mackey couldn't get the finish. However, he drew the foul. He'll be going in the line to shoot a couple.
Good aggressive defensive play by Tynes on the floor, not afraid of the knee burns. Gets the ball to the driving Jeff Mackey, who takes it strong to the basket. We'll get a look at what I just said right here. You see Tynes getting up from the floor. He gets it to Mackey. Hesitation dribble goes in, high off the backboard, gets the body contact, and he'll go for 2.
Well, UMass Dartmouth off to a bad start at the free throw line. They were 80% last night. So far, 0 for 3.
Good fix, Bill Young. Coach of Husson very concerned about the full court pressure by these Corsairs with his young team.
Figueroa gets bottled up in the corner. Possession hour in favor of Husson College. He'll try it again. Inbounding this time will be Scott Kissinger. And Kissinger wants a timeout.
It's going to be a long afternoon for those 2 guards in the Husson Eagles backcourt with that pressure applied by A.J. Tavares and Reese Freeman along with Corey Tynes. They present some quickness problems for them, and they're going to have to be very careful with the ball. They can't afford to turn it over.
Husson College got into this championship game with a 78-69 win over Wentworth. We had that consolation game with Wentworth going on to defeat Albertus Magnus by a large score. And Wentworth looked to be a pretty good ball club. So let's see what Husson College can do here, looking to take the championship in this 2007 Hampton Inn basketball tourney. Figueroa bottled up by 2. Lee gets it across. Bradford with the miss. Freeman spins our way. Mackey's got the range from there. He's got it. UMass Dartmouth can shoot the 3-ball, Rick.
Yeah, Mackey had a good night last night with 18 points. He's continuing on here today.
Figueroa with the answer. So it's raining 3 balls here at the Tripp Center. Tavares with the miss. Rebound by Philbrook. Here comes Figueroa, has his pass deflected and stolen, and a nice play by Freeman as he knocked it off Sherrod Lee's shoulder.
Freeman looked 3 different directions till he finally found Sherrod's shoulder and threw it off of him.
Well, UMass has forced 4 turnovers thus far in the ball game.
Holbrook. Now Mackey. Looking for Holbrook inside. It's batted away. It's stolen by Kissinger.
A little bit too much air under that pass, and even more under that one.
Freeman with the deflection. Mackey gets credited with the steal. Open look. Mackey. Tap, no. Loose ball. Holbrook. Open look. Tynes. Too strong.
Tynes did a nice job keeping that ball alive on that offensive backboard.
Kissinger's pass is going to go into the backcourt untouched, and that's going to be a violation. Turnover. 7-6 is our score. You're watching the Hampton Inn Basketball Championship, produced and directed by DCTV in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Jim Thompson, Rick Jalbert, Bill Young, courtside here at the Tripp Athletic Center. We hope you enjoy these telecasts of UMass Dartmouth Athletics, cablecast exclusively by DCTV.
Well, last night Husson had
easy for you to
the
say,
other
Bill.
team. Yeah, they had 17 turnovers. They have 6 already this evening.
UMass Dartmouth off the miss, couldn't convert. That was Corey Tynes with the easy look.
Looks like A.J. Tavares not quite getting set on his feet there. Just a little bit off balance, having trouble finishing.
Bradford's cross-court pass actually ended up being a cross-court pass. He had the cutter going inside, just overshot him. So another turnover. Bill, how many is that?
That's 7, and as I mentioned last night, they had 17 in the entire game against their Albertus Magnus Falcons.
Inside, Holbrook gets his own follow, and let's see, we have a whistle and a foul called before the shot.
Holbrook, not knowing his own strength there, threw it up and over the whole basket. Tyler Totoro into the game for A.J. Tavares. Tyler's also a good 3-point shooter. You see the entry pass there by Totoro into Holbrook, a little bit too hard.
UMass Dartmouth, the perimeter game. Going in for the finish is Corey Tynes, the senior. Had 12 in the opener. He's out of Springfield, Mass.
Freeman, the point guard, got the job done. Drew 2 defenders to himself, laid it off to Tyler, and Tyler finished.
Figueroa in the dribble drive, and he draws the foul.
Tynes, rather. Sorry.
We have a line change coming in for Husson College.
That's his first personal foul. Team foul number 1 on the Corsairs. Substitutions for the Eagles. Number 5, Nick Paris. Number 23, Matt McKenzie. And number 52,
Husson will inbound.
Henry.
This is Kissinger. Bradford gets caught in the paint, gets stuck up in the air, and now a turnover as I believe UMass Dartmouth threw the offensive foul.
Yeah, Jeff Mackey positioned himself quite well there and got the Husson player up in the air and got run over.
And Bradford got caught in the air, Rick, and just
Yeah, you can see him here, and then Mackey was all set, but Tyler Turturro had already made the steal.
Well, Bradford has 2 personal fouls, and last night he was a big scorer for the 20 points last night for Husson.
Freeman, cross court. Mackey lost the dribble. Turturro is back on Bradford. Open look, Kissinger, too strong. Holbrook with the rebound. Loses it across the end line, sideline, excuse me, into the UMass Dartmouth bench.
Brian Baptiste, very grateful he wasn't sitting down. That was his chair that Holbrook just ran over.
Brian saying to himself, I still got the quickness. There he is.
Ably assisted by the aforementioned Len Deshotel. Len kind enough to spend some time with me before the game. We just chatted about the team and what they saw last night.
Reese Freeman. Turturro. UMass Dartmouth get the radar on here in this one. There's a steal. Freeman, they're not going to catch him.
Is that quickness by Freeman? For you Dartmouth residents looking for Chase Howland, who is a player on this team. Chase is down with an injury today, won't be playing. They're doing very well here at UMass Dartmouth after a fine career at Dartmouth High School.
The ball inside, McKenzie gets the roll.
McKenzie gave a shoulder into Holbrook's chest, knocked him back, and took advantage.
Freeman back the other way. Tynes shoves his man. And in the rebounding action, we have a foul called against the Corsairs.
Going to take a look at Freeman's steal here. Good quick hands, and he's going to run away from the field and get the easy layup.
Holbrook picked up his first personal of the game, and Husson College now has possession of the basketball. They trail by 6. Yep.
You can tell they're comfortable shooting those threes.
Yeah, both teams, Rick. Paris out of Groveton, New Hampshire. A little fall away off the back of the iron. Didn't fall for Freeman.
A little off balance at the end there, Jim. Sorry. He broke it down very well. In fact, almost broke the defender's ankles, but with the head fake.
This is Bradford. Kissinger, this is Bradford again. He throws up one from beyond the arc. No, Holbrook couldn't get the rebound. Still battling for it. Still battling, and finally comes away with it.
Tips him to himself over by the baseline. Nice play by Holbrook.
Would that be 2 rebounds, Rick?
Turturro with the basketball. He's got a 3 in this one. Tynes takes it baseline, loses it momentarily. Now Husson comes away with it. They advance the ball quickly. This is Paris. He's not shy. In the rebounding action, we have a reach-in foul. That's going to be whistled against Maddie McKenzie.
35-second clock need not apply. I don't think
Brian wants a timeout. I think he's tired of watching these teams run up and down. Needs a breather himself. You're watching UMass Dartmouth men's varsity basketball cablecast here on DC TV in the town of Dartmouth. This is the championship game of the Hampton Inn.
Both teams with 3 threes thus far.
Glazer Glass Company, we want to thank them for underwriting this telecast of this Hampton Inn Classic. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Rick Jalbert. Bill Young on the stat book tonight. Bill's the stat beast of the Little East. And we hope you enjoy these telecasts of UMass Dartmouth Athletics cablecast exclusively by DC TV in the town of Dartmouth. I always want to welcome the Twin Cities, Rick, Fall River and New Bedford, and people along the South Coast, Fairhaven, and the town of Dartmouth. And if you people in the town of Dartmouth will be on Thanksgiving Day, we'll have that game, not live this year, but be looking on your cable system for the first broadcast of that. And then Rick and I and the legions of Dartmouth High fans, there'll be several thousand making the trip up to Brockton as the Indians will take on Brockton in the game to get you into the Super Bowl. Brockton defeated the Indians last year in the last minute of that ball game, so the Indians looking for revenge. Our score here is 14-11. UMass has the lead. Husson has the basketball with just under 12 minutes to play in the opening half. Kissinger out top. Henry. Now Lee with the basket.
Nice stop and pop by Lee there. Actually, that was Fab Figueroa.
Yeah, it was. One's 4, one's 44. I'll get it right yet. And we have an offensive foul being called. Corey Tynes, the senior, lowered his shoulder and knocked over the defender. Did that right in front of the referee.
Then he threw the ball to the wall. Lucky he didn't get teed up there.
A delay of game.
Freshman Brandon Stevens into the game for his first action.
Stevens had 12 points in the first game of this tournament.
He out of Newton High School.
Paris with the miss, Holbrook with the rebound. He get fouled.
Meehan with the foul. Holbrook timed it just right. Let's watch on this offensive set. Coach of Husson said that they were going to three-quarter or front Holbrook to prevent him from getting the ball down low because they didn't think they had an answer for him if he got the ball in the post.
Well, he has no points thus far, so
whatever he's doing is working.
Holbrook playing out high, looking at cutters. DeTuro backs up from beyond the arc. Tynes keeps it alive.
Quick to the ball is Tynes.
This is Stevens that Rick was talking about. He's a freshman. I have high hopes for him. Tynes gets it inside Holbrook. Nobody there, and he scores.
There's a case where they did front him, but the weak side help didn't come around and help out in time. Nice entry pass by Tynes.
Looking for the back door was Nick Paris. Just led his teammate Fabian Figueroa. That's a nice name, Rick. Fabian Figueroa out of the Bronx, New York.
They call him Fab.
Fab is on the program in the Husson website. Nickname Fab.
Holbrook didn't get whistled for that. There's the freshman with the basket. Brandon Stevens. Largest lead of the game at 6. Just over 9.5 to play opening half. Championship game of the Hampton Inn Classic. 3 ball on the way. Paris, no. Henry with the weak side rebound. And here's the fabulous one, Figueroa. Meehan, open shot. Keeping it alive is Paris. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by UMass Dartmouth, however.
UMass Dartmouth getting some bad bounces there. They're getting the inside position and getting wide rebounds.
It's the old Rick Pitino theory. The further out you shoot, the further out the rebound will go. 15-foot pull-up is good. Score it for Blaine Meehan. Matt Walker into the ball game now. Let's see, number 30. Holbrook turns, can't get it to drop. Gets right in there to get his own follow-up. Look for the foul, didn't get it.
Good hustle there by Holbrook to get that ball back. Probably should have kicked it out. Ended up way underneath the basket.
Meehan's pass. Nice defensive play. McKenzie had it stolen away from him. There's Freeman back for UMass Dartmouth. Four-point UMass Dartmouth lead. Coming upon the 8-minute mark in this championship game. First half action, Jim Thompson, Rick Jalbert, Bill Young. Coming to you from the Tripp Athletic Center here on the campus of UMass Dartmouth. Freeman inside with the big fella, squeezes it up and in.
Nice strong take with the left hand by Freeman there. Broke to the other side, got to the opposite side of the key, and get the kiss off the glass.
And we have 7 Corsairs on the board. In scoring.
That was McKenzie.
Matt McKenzie.
Walker into the game for his first action this year. Well, today, anyway.
Holbrook up with the right hand, can't get it to drop, and the fabulous one with the rebound. He brings it across with the left hand. Now he's going to pull up, 3 ball on the way, too strong. Follow up, drawing the foul is Matt McKenzie.
Holbrook with his second personal foul there. Not quite in position, got the body contact, and they're going to send McKenzie to the line for 2.
Coach Baptiste called Danny Holbrook a rebounding machine. Something they never called you, Rick, at Holy Family.
A shooting machine, though.
You see where Holbrook on this replay doesn't quite get position. The ball goes out wide. McKenzie gets it. Holbrook gets him with the lower body.
Second one on the way. That's good. A 3-point ball game here.
Chuck Nicholson into the game. First time. Freshman from Nauset, Mass.
Looking inside now. Stevens lost it momentarily. Plenty of time on the shot clock at 15. There's a whistle and a foul.
Josh Eustace, a junior out of Hanson, Mass. Into the game, he replaced Dan Holbrook. So Eustace goes up here with his right hand. Not quite in control, not quite squared up there.
So Josh will be shooting a couple from the charity stripe.
Not going to try the Eustace, huh?
Well, I am going to, just not at this particular point in the game. I want to check at halftime, make sure it's right. Y-U-C-I-U-S.
Eustace.
Sounds good to me.
I knew his cousin.
Confucius.
Confucius, yeah.
Confucius.
Yeah, whatever he said, I agree with. Whatever Eustace says, I'm with him. Kissinger slipped on the floor. UMass takes it away. Going in for the bucket is Eustace.
Yeah,
Eustace.
You listen to the PA man. That's what I was waiting for. Coming back with the answer is the fabulous one, Figueroa. Still a 3-point UMass lead. Eustace looking. Stevens just inside the 3-point arc. No, Eustace scrambles for it.
good
Nicholson
hustle by
comes
Nicholson.
away.
Good hustle.
Walker with the miss. Stevens battling in there, couldn't come away with it. Figueroa across the midcourt stripe. Meehan lets it fly, and he's got another.
Nice jump stop, jump shot.
Lead is cut to 1.
Jimmy Walker style.
Ball went inside the Eustace, and I think they're going to get an over-the-back call against Chris Coffin. Coffin's a big fella, 6'5", 230, out of Presque Isle, Maine.
Nice release there. Right through the twines with a little backspin on it. A.J. Tavares back into the game along with Jeff Mackey. Nicholson running the point with Eustace and Walker up front.
Eustace started out at Massasoit Community College. This is the back end, and rebounding action. We have a foul. Coffin got the rebound.
Nicholson went around, reached in. Referee standing right there.
About the only thing the Corsairs aren't doing so far is shooting foul shots. They're 2 of 8.
Lee couldn't convert off the dribble drive. Now it comes out to Paris. He's got the range, and his team has got the lead. First lead of the game with just over 5 minutes to go. UMass looking to answer. They come up short. That was Mackey with the long shot. Here comes Husson College back the other way, and going in for the layup is Paris. And Brian wants a timeout.
Coach has seen enough.
Husson College, Bill Young on a roll.
Yeah, ever since Mr. Holbrook went to the bench, Husson has made a comeback here. They've outscored the Corsairs by 11-1 over the last few minutes.
Nice pass here to the baseline where Nick Paris finishes high off the glass. Corsairs haven't been rebounding terribly well here. Even when Holbrook was in the game, doesn't seem like they've been boxing their players out, the offensive players out far enough to create enough spacing.
We look on at Coach Baptiste talking to his team across the way. You're watching UMass Dartmouth men's varsity basketball, the championship game of the 2007 Hampton Inn Basketball Classic. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Rick Jalbert, Bill Young on the stat book, Peter Chase and Derek Freites directing DCTV's exclusive coverage of the Hampton Inn Basketball Classic. There were some of the folks who came out on this Saturday afternoon. Watched some good Division III college basketball. Husson College, over the last 30 years, they've been one of the premier Division III teams in the Northeast. Here they are this afternoon looking to take home the Hampton Inn Championship trophy. A.J. Tavares can't get it to fall. Rebounding action is stolen away, and let's see, was the last deflected by UMass? It was. So, Rick, in the last 5 or 6 minutes, the momentum has shifted to Husson College.
Coach Baptiste going to take a chance here, bring Holbrook back with 2 personal fouls here in the first half. Needs to get some help on the boards.
Still plenty of time with over 4.5 minutes to go. Here's Lee with the basketball between the circles. Paris, open look, Coffin. Tavares came away with the rebound. Reese Freeman. UMass came out of the gates extremely fast. They were dropping 3-pointers. Now they've cooled off here in the last 5 minutes. There's an open look. Tavares has had a tough night shooting here in the opening half.
What a fake he put on the defender, though.
Gonna try it again. Freeman with a tricky drive. He couldn't get it to finish.
Tremendous crossover dribble there.
UMass has gone cold, Rick, here in the last 3 minutes. Nice defensive play there by A.J. Tavares. So we have 3 minutes and 43 seconds left to play first half. Husson College on top 27-24. It's been a pretty good opening half. Plenty of action. The 3-pointer on the way. It goes, and a foul.
I think it's only a 2, Jim. He's right around the foul line there. But it's going to end up being a 3-pointer.
Tavares picks up the personal, and Sherrod Lee. Let's see.
At the line is number 44, Sherrod Lee.
Yeah, well within the line. So we both had him for 3. They gets credited with a deuce as he missed the free throw. Largest lead of the game for Husson at 4. UMass just cannot get a shot to drop in for him.
We just got our updated stats here from Dave Garinger and his crew, information director, and as we indicated, nice pass.
Mackey with a nice pass, and Holbrook with the finish. He couldn't finish the first time. Hung tough in there, get his own rebound, and now will have an opportunity to make the 3-point play.
Yeah, the nice pass. Too bad Mackey loses the assist here. Holbrook goes back up. Discrepancy of 7 rebounds here, 19-12 in the early going. Indians, Corsairs being out-rebounded.
So UMass Dartmouth has cut the lead down to 2 with just over 3 to play in the opening half. Coffin nails it.
Walker's got to push his offensive player. I got it.
No, I've been waiting for that. You guys both missed it. People at home are falling asleep. Freeman. Walker bottled up in front of the Husson bench, knocks down his defender, no foul call. Holbrook, too strong. Really couldn't go after that rebound. He's playing with a couple of fouls.
Holbrook struggling to finish down low. He's missed about 4 layups so far.
Nice perimeter game. Sherrod Lee with the finish. He had 23 in the win over Wentworth in the opening game.
And coach said that was a surprise to him. He hadn't been shooting that well, and he found his game last night. Looks like he's continuing today.
Holbrook gets two of them back.
That's where they have to get him the ball.
Well, the only baskets the Corsairs have scored in the last 6 minutes have been by Dan Holbrook.
Figueroa. Near steal, Paris has it. 15 on the shot clock. Figueroa launches from 3. And I believe we have a foul away from the ball. We do. That's going to be whistled against Husson College.
Kissinger, I believe. A little push off with the arm. See Kissinger here down low against Walker. He just pushes Walker to the ground. And he's observed doing that by one of our 3 officials here.
Here's Brian. It's a nervous Nelly along the sidelines. Got the sport jacket already off. None better on the sideline than Dartmouth High's Steve Gasper, Rick. You couldn't keep that. You could nail him to the seat. His sweat is usually off in about the first 2 minutes of the game, and he's back and forth, back and forth. Brian not too far behind, and you mentioned those guys in the same sentence. You think of high school basketball for you guys over 45 years old out there in the audience. Back in the late 60s, early 70s, Steve Gasper and Brian Baptiste, 2 of the finest area high school players you'll see. Steve wasn't as good as Brian was in high school, but later started at Boston State College, where he held the scoring record for many, many years. And Brian went on to play in college as well. Rick Jalbert remembers those guys. He had to guard him down at Buttonwood Park.
Yes, we did.
Corey Tynes picks up the personal. That's his second. 7th on the Corsairs as a team, and at the free throw line is Fab Figueroa out of the Bronx.
Husson shooting exceptionally well here in the first half. They're 4 of 8 from 3-point land. Corsairs are 4 of 10.
UMass with a minute to go trails by 6. Hackey, AJ. Can he find the touch? No.
Halfway down and came out. It was a good shot.
He looked right over at Coach Baptiste as if to say, you got to be kidding me. One of these has to go in. I'm feeling good. It's not happening. Take some time off the clock. Figueroa. Wild shot. Danny Holbrook with the rebound. Tynes working baseline. He has it blocked. Coming out of nowhere was Chris Coffin, the sophomore out of Presque Isle, Maine.
We'll take a look at that. Tynes goes up. And Coffin gets there just in time, blocks it cleanly.
Shot clock is off, and they turn it over with 16 seconds to go.
Not quite enough pace on that entry pass there by Freeman. The defender, anticipating it, stepped in and knocked it loose.
Husson will work for the final shot. Figueroa lost it momentarily. And now it's going to be a jump ball. It's only half a second left in the half. See time in the right-hand corner of your screen.
That's the first turnover by Husson in over 12 minutes.
As the buzzer sounds here, ending the first half of play. Our score is Husson College 36, UMass Dartmouth 30. We'll be back with a halftime guest.
Welcome to the Glazer Glass halftime show. I'm joined here by the lovely Kathy Baptiste, the wife of our coach of 24 years. Kathy, many, many years now, I've seen you sitting behind the bench, you and your family. Tell us what it's been like for this 24-year ride.
Very exciting. My daughters love to come to the games. They came as infants, actually, children, and now they're adults. 3 out of 4 of them are adults. They love to watch their dad coach. They love when we win. They love to have the boys over and get to know them a little bit. It's a good family thing. It's a good family function.
So you have 4 daughters, and what are their names?
Gina, who's at Mass General grad school. Elena, who's 23. Gina's 24, who is a teacher now at Rodman Elementary. Erica, who's graduating from Dartmouth High. She's 18. And Rachel, who is a freshman at Dartmouth High.
Now, I've seen all the other girls play. Is Rachel also a player?
Rachel is probably the best player because she had to emulate her sisters. So she's quite a player.
And she's had a lot of time with the Coach Baptiste there as well, right?
In fact, she was in one of his earliest interviews. She was sitting on the bench. She was babysitting at the time, and she was sitting there with her legs dangling off the chair. She had legs about this long. It was really funny.
How many years have you been married now?
Going on 27 years.
Wow. Wow. And now, do you go away to the away games as well, Kathy?
When I can. I teach high school at New Bedford High School, so when I have the opportunity to go and it's not a late game, I do.
What are some of the antics that you like or dislike when your husband's on the sideline?
He has idiosyncrasies that are so unique but obvious to the children and myself, but to everyone else they wouldn't know it. For example, if it's a tight game, he gets the program and he rolls it up and he uses it as whatever, some physical release of energy. When he takes off his jacket, we know he means business. Sometimes he takes off his jacket in the middle of the first half and we know that it's going to be a tough game. It's these idiosyncrasies that follow him and he's completely unaware of them.
So it sounds like we could probably get Dave Geringer to get with the Baptiste girls and develop a whole program describing all of these idiosyncrasies that the coach has.
They're obvious to us, not so obvious to the general public.
Well, what do you think about today's game? Where are we headed?
I think it's a tight one. That's pretty obvious, but I think we can pull it through. The guys have to get it over last night's win, which was easy. I think that human nature tells you that when you win a game by so many points, the next day is going to be a little bit easier than it must be or will be. And I think he's probably giving them a good talking to in the locker room right now.
Well, Kathy Baptiste, thank you so much for joining us here at halftime.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure for us to speak with you, and hopefully we can pull this game through. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We're now going to be joined by Mr. Ed Collins from the Standard Times. Hi, Ed. How are you?
How are you, Rick?
All right. So what's going on here? They're killing us with threes.
Yeah, well, they're shooting 50%. And, I mean, UMass Dartmouth's going to get out there and maybe defend on the perimeter a little bit more. UMD not really shooting the ball well, 30% for them. And, talking to Brian Baptiste before the season started, he said they were going to have to be a good team on the perimeter. And, they don't have a whole lot of height, not able to, pound it inside and score a lot of points inside. So they're going to rely on that outside shooting a lot. And if things don't change here a little bit, they might be in a little bit of trouble.
Well, both coaches indicated that they thought UMass Dartmouth had an advantage on the boards here, but with a 19-12 spread, doesn't look that way.
Well, no. Husson's keeping the ball alive a lot. They're tipping a lot of balls, keeping it alive on the glass, getting a lot of second shots. I know Danny Holbrook has 9 rebounds for UMass Dartmouth, but he's not getting a whole lot of help.
He's not. That's very true. Defensively, we talked about it on the broadcast. We feel like they really have to get in these shooters' faces because they're getting some clean looks at the three.
Again, too many good outside shots, and you're right. I mean, it doesn't look UMass Dartmouth's like a half step behind on defense right now, and you're right. They're just going to have to, put a little more pressure on the Husson outside shooters because they're looking to shoot the three-pointer. They're shooting it pretty well, and they've proven that they can make it.
Well, listen to us, a couple of spoiled New England sports fans. We've got undefeated Patriots, undefeated Celtics, Revolution's going for some championship tomorrow. We just want everything perfect.
I wouldn't count too much on the Revolution. I think they're the Buffalo Bills of the MLS.
Well, Ed Collins, thank you so much for joining us here at halftime. Always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
We'll be back with the second half action with Jim Thompson in just a minute.
Welcome back, everybody. Jim Thompson, Rick Jalbert, Bill Young. We're here courtside at the Tripp Athletic Center, the championship game of the Hampton Inn Classic. Always nice to see Rick Jalbert with his halftime guests. And Bill Young, you got some halftime stats for us.
Yes, Jim. The UMass led with about 8 minutes left. They led 21-13 by 8. Then Husson went on a 16-3 run over the next 5 minutes or so. Part of that time with Holbrook on the bench with 2 fouls. Husson closed with a 23-9 run over the last 8 minutes, and they lead 36-30 at the half. Leading the way for Husson was Fab Figueroa with 9 points. Nick Perez had 8. Husson shot 50% from the field and just under 50% from the three-point line. For UMass Dartmouth, they were led by Dan Holbrook. He had 7 points, 9 rebounds. UMass horrendous shooting first half, 30% from the field.
Thank you very much, Bill. They come down the first possession of the second half, and drawing the foul was Jeff Mackey.
We're going to take a look at that again. Mackey goes in strong to the basket, goes in on Fab, and Fab gets him with the body. Mackey will go to the line and try to cut this lead to 4.
Well, Rick, the coach has to be fairly happy. His team trailing by now only 5 points. His team only shooting 30%. Brian's got to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, out rebounding. We get the final stats here. I guess the discrepancy in rebounding wasn't that great, but they were out rebounded by 2. And then shooting percentage, my goodness, 30% versus 50% for the opposing team.
Yeah, and from the three-point line, it was 33% as well. 36% from the free throw line. That's not good.
UMass Dartmouth going to try to up-tempo this game, pressing in the backcourt. However, they commit a foul once the basketball entered into the front court. We'll see it here on replay.
You see Reese grabbing Fab's arm.
It's a 4-point game just underway. Jim Thompson, Rick Jalbert, Bill Young. DCTV's exclusive coverage of the Hampton Inn Basketball Championship. Hosted by UMass Dartmouth here in the championship game. Bradford with the basketball between the circles.
VJ Devine starting the second half here for the Corsairs.
And UMass Dartmouth turns it over.
Right church, wrong pew. A little bit too low for the 6'6" Holbrook.
UMass with 8 turnovers in the first half. That was their first one in the second half. Husson College had 12.
Sherrod Lee for 3, and that lead is quickly back up to 7.
Coach has a few things to say to players very quickly. I think we'll see here that somebody didn't get back on their defensive assignment here, left a three-point shooter in the corner, Lee, all by himself. They need to rotate back. The transition defense has to get back. Okay to pressure, but once you're out of the pressure, you have to circle around and get back and play some defense, and apparently somebody didn't get back to the corner on time.
So Brian with a quick timeout. We've only played 55 seconds here in the second half. Was a 6-point lead at the half, now it's 7.
UMass looked very good the first 12 minutes, then it fell apart.
Get the ball inside to the big fella. Danny Holbrook.
That's what Danny needs to do, is get himself set and go up strong rather than try to do it on the move. A lot more effective that way.
Open look, shot on the way, too strong. Philbrook couldn't get the rebound to go in, and now the ball's knocked across the end line. So Husson College will inbound. Fabulous one will do the inbounding, and a nice pass, easy shot, and a miss by Kissinger. They had the play they wanted, Rick, they just couldn't convert. Mackey squeezes it up. Rim got in the way. Another open look, and Figueroa buries it.
That's his second 3 of the game.
Tynes cross court to Mackey and away from the ball. I believe we're going to have a foul called against Husson College.
Philbrook. No, Sherrod Lee. I didn't even see him in the play.
It's an 8-point lead. UMass Dartmouth looking to cut it here. Holbrook doubled. Mackey in the lane, a little fall away. No, Holbrook couldn't get the rebound. It falls into the hands of Figueroa.
Mackey would have been better off to go to the glass there.
Figueroa is going to be called for the walk.
Good defense there by
Mackey was on his hip
Mackey.
the whole way.
Yep. Here's a replay. You see Mackey hustles back. No foul. The Fab one just loses his footing and goes down. Get some movement here. Corsairs standing around.
This is Holbrook, looks inside, backdoor cut. Corey Tynes with the finish.
Set play, backdoor pick there for Tynes. He broke off it very nicely. VJ Devine with a nice pick.
Kissinger. Bradford. Bradford loses over the end line. 17-17 left to go in the ball game. Go ahead, Rick.
You can see the defensive intensity has turned up, definitely turned up a notch here.
A lot of students have arrived for the second half of this one. Devine off the miss. A fabulous one with the rebound, brings it across the timeline. Philbrook has it stolen away by Mackey. Mackey's going to go in alone, up with the left hand.
Great steal by Mackey, a good anticipation. Slapped it right out of the offensive player's hands and took off down the end, using his body for an easy left-hand layup.
Well, they've cut the lead down to 4.
It's six in a row for the Corsairs.
Another steal. Freeman in alone. Back-to-back steals, and a timeout call by Warren Caruso as UMass Dartmouth has cut that lead down to 2, Rick Jalbert.
Good quick hands here by the Indians. There's a steal by Mackey. Mackey goes in, shields the ball, goes up with his left hand. Now we'll take a look, hopefully, at Freeman. You'll see defensively as well, he knocks the ball loose, and he goes in for an uncontested layup. Gets the Corsairs right back into this, only down 2 points. See there, he slaps it loose, Freeman does, and just breaks away, and nobody's going to catch him from behind.
And that wrapped up an 8-0 run for the Corsairs to bring them within 2.
Winning ticket is 838.
You're watching UMass Dartmouth basketball, cablecast by DCTV in the town of Dartmouth. This the championship game of the Hampton Inn Classic. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Rick Jalbert. Bill Young, the stat beast of the Little East, alongside as well. I always want to welcome you folks in the Twin Cities of New Bedford and Fall River, the towns of Dartmouth and Westport, Fairhaven. We glad to be in your living room. Just don't let us in around Christmas time, because we like a little holiday cheer sometimes, don't we, men?
Absolutely.
So it's a 2-point ball game. I think this is what Brian wanted to do. I think he really wanted to up-tempo this. kind of got out of sync, but still has cut the lead down to 2. As a fabulous one misses, and up high for the rebound and losing it out of bounds was Corey Tynes.
Another bad break. Freeman had one all by himself before, and now Tynes. Look at the rebound here. Tynes is up all by himself, but just can't control it, and it kicks out of bounds.
They work some nice inbounds plays. Bradford shook loose that time. Uncontested, easy one. Freeman in front of his own bench. Holbrook up fakes. Now squeezes up and under for the bucket.
Boarding house reach there by Holbrook. Comes up from the other side, gets the easy layup.
He's now in double figures with 11 points.
Good switch there by Tynes.
Bradford up fakes. Oh, get called for the walk there, big time. He was halfway out the gym on the way to the bus.
Looking to gain a little quickness advantage that he doesn't possess by running instead of dribbling.
This time down, the Corsairs can tie or take the lead. 15 and a half to play in the ball game. Mackey, Holbrook. Got it by 2, wheels out of it. Tapped, no. Sherrod Lee comes away with the basketball.
Holbrook's got to find the perimeter player that's open. He's got 3 people coming down to him. It's got to be somebody open around the perimeter. And conversely, the perimeter players have to find an open spot and get there. Call for the ball.
Up with the left hand was McKenzie, couldn't get it to go.
Corsairs shooting 57% here in the second half. Layups will do that.
Tynes fights for the rebound, gets it. Mackey thought about it. Now with the dribble drive, and we're tied at 44.
Nice take by Mackey, good presence of mind.
Mackey now in double figures with 10 points.
Kissinger nearly lost it. Lee's got it now. Right on him like a glove. Lee, open look, no. And in the rebounding action, we have a foul being called against Husson College.
Corsairs challenging those 3-point shots now. They're not uncontested anymore. And as the game moves on in time, they get a lot tougher to make when your legs start to get a little bit tired.
McKenzie called for the foul. That's the 3rd on Husson College. We're tied at 44 with 14 minutes straight up here in this championship game.
B.J. Devine putting in some nice minutes here for Coach Baptiste.
Holbrook up fakes. Lowers his head. Can't get it to fall in a rebounding action. A foul going to be called against UMass Dartmouth. V.J. Devine, the sophomore. Rick mentioned he's given Coach Baptiste some good minutes here in the first 5.5.
He's added to the defensive intensity as well as helping on the boards. They now control. They now have an edge in the rebounding stat.
3 ball on the way, comes up short. Rebounded here by Freeman. Look out from behind. They poke it away. Fans were calling for it. Freeman's got other things to listen to.
Point guard has to know where everyone is. Should have accounted for that guy.
Off the miss, Holbrook with the rebound. That was Paris with the shot. Still tied at 44.
Holbrook now in double figures in rebounds with at least 10 here.
Tynes' pass intended for Holbrook. Stolen away by McKenzie. Restolen here. Kissinger comes away with it. Well, Bradford's going to try to set things up. UMass Dartmouth playing with much more intensity on the defensive side of the court here in the second half. Shot clock down to 11. Bradford has it challenged and blocked. Tynes with the block.
Good decision by Mackey there. He didn't have the numbers. It was 1-on-3.
Freeman squeezes it up.
Nice take by Reese. Good spin around move in the middle. Floated through the middle and made the deuce.
And And that's the first Corsair lead in quite some time, Jim Thompson.
Sure is, Bill. The pass is stolen away. Mackey's got it, and they're going to get a reach-in foul.
Mackey's having a heck of a second half here. That's about his third steal in the second half.
Paris picks up the foul. His first. That's the fourth called here in the second half against Husson College.
Stevens replaces Mackey. Walker replaces Tynes for the Corsairs. Get some fresh legs in there. They've played hard here for the first 8 minutes of the second half.
Reese Freeman. Looks inside for the easy one. Where the finish
pass.
was Walker.
Super pass by Freeman. Knew exactly where Walker was going to be. Put the ball down there for him for the easy layup.
Meehan looking inside, and ball's knocked away by Holbrook. It goes inside for the easy basket. Score it for Matt McKenzie. Two-point Corsair lead. Holbrook squares, finishes.
Holbrook got the defender up off his feet that time. McKenzie up in the air. Holbrook takes it into the basket. Coach Warren Caruso pleading with the official that Holbrook is using his left arm to hold off McKenzie. Let's take a look at it. Watch Holbrook's left arm. See if he holds off McKenzie. No, not at all. Not at all. He hit him with the body. It's a good play and a good no call by the official.
Well, seven minutes ago, the Corsairs trailed by 10, 42-32. Since that time, now with 11:19 left in the game, they lead 50-46, capping off an 18-4 run.
Looking at the Husson College bench.
Nice to see Kathy Baptiste there at halftime. A little different insight from the wife's perspective.
Not easy to, at any level of coaching. Coaches, they put in an awful lot of hours no matter what sport that you coach. There's so much more involved in college coaching nowadays than ever before. There's just so many crazy things that happen outside of the program that coaches can't control and they're responsible for, especially at this level.
Well, it's nice when that family support is there, though.
Yeah, most certainly is. Well, Husson College now trailing by 4. They have the basketball. Bradford.
Holbrook working very hard down low.
Henry's pass went astray, gets it back, up fakes to the basket, and he draws the foul.
As often will happen, Holbrook almost had the steal, and then frustration from that lack of achievement makes you go over and play that much harder on the next play. Let's watch here. Holbrook goes over, and you can almost see in his eyes that he's going to whack somebody.
Got off his feet.
Yep.
First attempt is no good. He'll get another.
Substitution for the Corsairs is number 20.
Tynes in for Holbrook. Holbrook having picked up his third personal foul.
Three-point ball game with just under 11 minutes to go. Walker looks inside. That's Corey Tynes.
Tynes sealed the defender off. A nice pass by Walker over the top. An easy layup for Corey Tynes.
Meehan cross court here to Paris. Kicks it off his left sneaker.
Foul detected by the official.
That foul was called on number 5, Nick Paris. That's his second personal foul.
Nick Paris was the offender.
On the Eagles. Substitution for the Corsairs is number 10, Chuck Mickelson.
Paris dribbled it off his leg.
Nicholson in there now for UMass Dartmouth. AJ, he could use it. Too strong. And they're gonna get, I believe, Corey Tynes picking up the foul.
Bodied up on the offensive player. Kind of walking him up the court against his will.
Now they have both big guys in foul trouble here. Dan Holbrook with 3 and Corey Tynes with 3.
Bradford works on Nicholson. Nicholson stays with him. They take the basket away, and they're going to call the foul against UMass Dartmouth. Chuck Nicholson.
I think they gave him the basket, Jim.
Yes, they did, Rick. Yeah. That one official said he was.
See here, Nicholson bodies up. Yep, he was in the act of shooting. So
Well, certainly was. Good call by the official.
Back down to a 2-point game. See if Nicholson can buy a few minutes here for Reese Freeman.
Stevens.
Doesn't shoot like a freshman.
Big bucket right there by the freshman. Bradford off the pick. Answers with a 3 of his own.
Nicholson was right there on his right arm. You can't ask for any more than that. Looks like a little zone here. Matchup zone played by
And it forces the turnover. First time we've seen the zone in this ball game. UMass Dartmouth commits the turnover with just over 9 minutes to go. You're watching UMass Dartmouth men's basketball championship game here at the Hampton Inn Classic.
Holbrook off the bench, going to come back in.
Wild shot missed there by Meehan. UMass comes away with it. AJ. Lost it temporarily, gets it back. Stevens. Feeling it from beyond the arc. He's got another one.
2 big hoops by the freshman. Puts the Corsairs into a 5-point lead.
Got 3 threes for 9 points.
He had 12 in the opening game against Albertus Magnus, and now we have a foul on the court.
Tynes almost had the steal there, but then lost his man on the attempt. Take a look at it right here. He gets inside, goes up for the dunk, and Walker whacks him.
Matt McKenzie at the line. Lefty misses the first.
Substitution for the Corsairs is number 34, David Holbrook.
So Holbrook back into the game for UMass Dartmouth. Second one on the way. That's good. 4-point ball game. Tynes lets it go. Too strong. Holbrook went up high for the rebound, and Husson comes away with it. Poked away by Nicholson. Now it goes over the end line. Who touched it last? It was last touched by Husson College. Nice hustle by the freshman out of Nauset, Massachusetts, Chuck Nicholson. Now they may reverse this.
They should. That was the right call. It was absolutely off Nicholson's leg. Hopefully we can see it right here. You watch the ball bounces right off Nicholson's knee. There it is.
Yeah, pretty clear.
So Husson will inbound from underneath their own basket. Run some nice plays from here. Reverse it back for the open shot by Bradford. Too strong, and in the rebounding action, we're going to have a foul called. And that's going to be called against Nick Henry.
Nick Henry, 6'3", sophomore, out of Penobscot, Maine. You ever been to Penobscot, Maine, Jim?
I've never been to Maine. I have been to Maine, but I have not
Substitutions for Husson College,
not been there.
Fabian Figueroa, number 21, Scott Kissinger, and number 44.
Freeman back into the lineup now. Nicholson spelled him for a few minutes there. Actually maintained the lead, 58-54.
Holbrook.
That's what Danny needs to do. Catch, get himself set, and then go up strong. He generally finishes in that regard.
The catch and the kiss.
Ooh, travel, got away with the travel there.
Meehan did a lot of dribbling there, hasn't gotten him much. Now he commits the turnover.
Traveling, UMass Dartmouth will inbound. Substitution for the Corsairs is number 24, Jeff Mackey.
Mackey replaces Tavares.
Freeman walks it across the line. 7 minutes straight up to go. It's a 6-point lead. Stevens, he's feeling it. He's got it.
Brandon Stevens for 3.
Kudos to Freeman, recognizing that Stevens is hot. Get him the ball. Call his number.
Off the screen, Kissinger, no, and Freeman with the long rebound. Pushes it ahead. Finds his pass to his teammate Holbrook is taken away. Just under 6.5 to go. Oh, there's an elbow to the throat, and down goes Reese Freeman.
Down goes Frazier.
Down goes Freeman. We'll see. We'll see the left arm here, or the right arm actually. Gives it the forearm to the chest of Freeman and knocks him right over. Good call by the official. VJ Divine back into the game.
Freeman. Holbrook's fighting for it. Took it away from 2 defenders and drew the foul.
Freeman couldn't decide which way to go up with that. We'll take a look at it right here. He gets to the baseline. Can't decide whether to go straight in or kiss it. Comes up short. Holbrook goes up, and he gets wrecked by 2 Husson players. Of course, neither one of them fouled him.
Holbrook's having quite a night. He's got 15 points before these 2 shots, and he's got 12 rebounds.
You people watching in Far River, you fella behind Brian Baptiste there, we get a shot of the bench. Got to be Paul Hott there with his right behind Brian. He's a pretty good basketball player over at BMC Durfee High School, wasn't he, Rick?
Yes, he was. I think he played here for Brian too, didn't he?
I believe he did.
Yeah.
Fabulous one is fouled in the backcourt.
Wow.
Well, since Holbrook's come back in, it was 58-54 when he came back in, and now a 7-0 UMass run with 4 of those points from Dan Holbrook, and of course, Corsairs up by 11.
Figueroa at the line. First one comes up short. UMass Dartmouth, 3 players going for the rebound. Stevens comes away with it. Freeman works it against Figueroa. Didn't stay in that zone for very long, did they, Rick?
That's what I'd be looking for right there.
Holbrook up with the right hand, gets it.
Good work by Holbrook there, staying with the offensive glass, getting it back up with a little jump hook.
19 big points for the big guy.
Now the crowd getting into it, the chant of defense. Many students arriving here for the second half. Holbrook with the block.
Great second half by Dan Holbrook.
Freeman doing a nice job controlling the tempo in the offensive sets. Down the lane he goes, he squeezes it up. And all of a sudden, it's a 69-54 game.
Full timeout called by Coach Warren Caruso. Wants to talk it over with his troops. 15-point lead here. You see the block there by Holbrook. Nobody involved. Excellent. Then the floater through the lane by Freeman. Good body control. Drops it through the twines.
Bill Young, quite a run UMass Dartmouth is on.
It certainly is. And it started when Holbrook came back into the game. When he went to the bench just a few minutes ago, 10:54 to go, it was 52-47. Well, the Corsairs managed to keep most of that lead, 58-54. Bang, here comes Holbrook back into the game. And now 11-0 run for the Corsairs, and they're 15 points up.
Nicely done here by the Corsairs in the second half, and it can all be attributed to the defensive fortitude that they've displayed here. They really have come out, overplayed the threes, stepped out on defense, jumped out in everybody's face. They've made a couple of nice blocks down low, but the help defense is what's been key to this whole thing turning around. The defense will generate the offense ultimately.
And Holbrook's had a big night off the boards, too. He's got 13 rebounds by our count.
I'm sure it's official.
Well, you're looking at the home side, and on our side, across from the players' benches, there's a nice crowd of UMass students here. I'd say a couple of hundred of them on this side. Always nice to see. That's one of the things they're trying to do out here at the university is get these students, give them something to do on weekends, and what better thing than watch a college basketball game. Here's the steal. Stevens gonna go in, and he's had a tremendous second half.
He's got 11 points in the second half, 14 overall.
Freshman off
He's
the
a player.
bench.
Good switch there by Devine and Mackey.
Taking it inside is Sherrod Lee, and he drew the foul.
Holbrook's going to pick up his fourth here. Here's the last steal. Take a look at it there. Freeman jumps in between the legs, kicks it up forward to Stevens, who goes in for the uncontested layup. Way to run the floor there, Brandon.
Lee misses the first. He'll get another attempt. Now, Rick, with just over 4 minutes to play, do you take the big fella out for a couple of minutes with a big lead?
4 minutes to go. They're pretty much decided here at this point. He's a senior. He knows enough how to play in foul trouble. UMass probably going to take the air out of the ball a little bit here anyway.
This is Jeff Mackey.
61% shooting here in the second half.
Stevens with a nice look to Holbrook, and Holbrook draws the foul. He'll be going to the charity stripe for a couple. Freshman Stevens along the baseline with a nice pass to the senior.
Going to see it here. Freeman kicks it down, gives it to Stevens. He gets the two defenders, wraparound pass over to Holbrook, who goes up, can't quite gather himself and can't finish, goes to the line.
Holbrook missed the first, a little upset with himself.
Standing at the line, he's got 19 points and 14 rebounds. A big game for Dan Holbrook, the senior.
That would be your double-double.
Makes the back end of the
20 points.
Two-shot foul. Now he's going to take a seat. Corey Tynes comes in to replace him, and a rousing ovation for Danny Holbrook, and well-deserved.
See how the defenders are out there in their face, right there.
Shot was missed by Kissinger. What a last touch by one of the Corsairs. This crowd is getting loud. May not be the largest crowd you'll see, but they are most certainly vocal. Bradford jumps up in the lane, and let's see, going to call the foul on Bradford as he knocked Mackey to the floor.
That's his third personal foul.
Freeman at 5'9" went up on McKenzie, who's 6'5", and pinned it to the backboard.
Coach Caruso, he's livid across the way. Bradford, a look away pass, goes to no one, stolen away. Mackey's ahead of the field. Lays it up and in.
Jeff Mackey.
Corsairs coming up with all the loose balls. That transition offense, pushing the ball up the floor is working well for them. But most importantly, the defense here in the second half. We're going to try to chat with the coach after the game. I think he's going to harp on the fact that he attributed to the defensive effort here. You see there's a steal, pass by Freeman, gets another assist up to Mackey.
Freeman, cross court. Stevens, he's got the field, he's got the deal.
Stevens for 3.
5 threes for Stevens.
Credit to Freeman there, spotting him from across court. This swarming defense. Whoa.
Largest lead of the night.
Devine has gotten himself some quality minutes here tonight, could lead to some more minutes for him in the future.
That's a guy that's going to get some minutes. Stevens. What a find. Wild shot taken there by Sherrod Lee.
What a turnaround in the second half. Jim Thompson in shooting, as Rick Jalbert has alluded to earlier. The first half, Husson shooting 50%. Second half, shooting 30%. Just the opposite for the Corsairs. 61.5% second half.
There's a kick over to Stevens, goes up, even with defensive pressure, drains it, and hustles back on defense. Into the game for the first time, number 50, Kyle Yeadon.
That young fella, even is Reese Freeman. You don't see him there on your screen. Point guard had an outstanding day directing the UMass Dartmouth offense. No question about that. We're under 2 minutes to go in a 77-55 game. Mackey gets it in low. Eustace couldn't finish, and UMass comes away with the rebound. He'll just take some time off the clock, Rick, with 1:40 to go. Oop.
Nicholson looking for the open man, drew the defenders a little bit too hot on the pastry.
It's Husson College will inbound. Substitutions for Husson College are number 11, C.J. Hodges, and number 33.
Stevens goes out to a nice and well-deserved hand, as does Mackey.
They should. That group was finished with a 19-1 run before they hit the bench.
Three-point shot missed there by Joe Kane, who's now into the ball game. He was looking for the foul after the shot, didn't get it. Measuring is C.J. Hodges, and Eustace comes away with the rebound. You know, to the fans, the most popular guys in any sport are the guys that come off the bench, and these UMass Dartmouth fans wanting these seconds to fire up a couple of shots while they're in there. Why not?
Dan Boyce into the game for the first time out of Swansea, Mass. Played at Case High School, I believe.
That foul was called on number 33, Dan Boyce. That's his first personal foul. Team foul number 9 on the Corsairs. At the line for Husson College is number 45, Ray J. Jennings, shooting 2 shots.
So Ray J. Jennings out of New Haven, Connecticut, at the free throw line.
Coming into the game for Husson College, 00, Cameron Coles, and number 32.
John Konarski out of Marblehead, a freshman guard, in for the Corsairs.
John Konarski.
It's a 20-point contest with 40 seconds straight up to play, and UMass Dartmouth will go on to win the Hampton Inn Classic. They will defeat Husson College here on a Saturday afternoon in Dartmouth. Here's a steal. And score it. Cameron Pals had that, I believe. Changed his number prior to the game. 15 ticks left on the game clock. UMass just going to take the air out of this one. And now the fans and the team getting up. They know they got this one won. So, Rick, a nice win for Coach Baptiste here. They're going to walk away with the Hampton Inn Classic on their home court.
And the final score.
Our final score is UMass Dartmouth 77. Husson College 59. We're going to stay on air here as they are going to present the winning trophy to UMass Dartmouth, I believe. So, Rick Jalbert, the head coach of UMass Dartmouth, Brian Baptiste. 438 career wins coming into this one. Got to be happy with win number 439.
Absolutely. Really, whatever he said at halftime, he should can it because it came out nicely for him in the second half. His players came out with a great deal of intensity. They really beefed up the defensive pressure, which led to some good offensive sets. A great second half by Dan Holbrook, their captain. One of their captains, along with Reese Freeman, did a nice job running the offense. And how about Stevens? Can't say enough about this young man. Freshman coming off the bench. He hit 4 threes, did he not, Bill?
5 threes.
5 threes.
4 in the second half. 17 points for the guy.
Certainly quite a differential.
So our final score, 77-59. UMass Dartmouth defends their home court. They have won the 2007 Hampton Inn Championship. And Rick, it's one of those games that you could really say the entire team contributed. It wasn't the starting 5. They got some great performances from their bench, especially from the freshman Brandon Stevens.
Well, Tynes, filled in admirably as Holbrook got into foul trouble. Tynes came in, rebounded very well, and you can't say enough about VJ Devine. What a contribution he made in the second half. Didn't even touch the floor the first half, comes in there in the second half and turns things around.
Now let's go to the public address announcer.
The
awards ceremony of the 2007 Hampton Inn Classic.
To begin our ceremony, allow me to introduce Louise Goodrum, the Assistant Athletic Director of UMass Dartmouth, who will be presenting the awards this afternoon. First, let's congratulate the runner-up team from Husson College. Would the captains please step forward and accept your team's trophy?
There you see the captains of Husson College going out to receive the runner-up trophy. Scott Kissinger along with Sharon Lee. And Scott Kissinger is now UMass Dartmouth.
2007 Hampton Inn basketball champions, your UMass Dartmouth Corsairs. Will the captains please step forward and accept the championship trophy?
Louise Goodrum, Associate Athletic Director here at the university, presenting the trophy to the winning basketball team here this afternoon. That'd be the UMass Dartmouth Corsairs as they go on to win 77-59. Stay tuned to the Glazer Glass post-game show. Our final score, 77-59. Welcome to the Glazer Glass post-game show. UMass Dartmouth winners of the Hampton Inn basketball tournament, 77-59 over Husson College. Final stats, Bill Young, real quick.
Well, it was a tale of two halves, Jim. UMass Dartmouth trailed 36-30 in the first half on some poor shooting, and they're still, as somebody said, we were lucky to be that close with the poor shooting that UMass Dartmouth had in the second half. But the second half was a big difference. 61% from the field, 67% from three-point land, 83% from the foul line. For the losing and runner-up in the tournament, Husson Wildcats?
Close enough.
Fab Figueroa with 12 points and Brock Bradford with 11. They're the only two Husson players in double figures. For UMass Dartmouth, leading the way, the all-tournament Most valuable player, Dan Holbrook, with 20 points, 14 rebounds, 8 for 16 from the floor. Reese Freeman had 10 points and 8 big assists. Brandon Stevens, immense, 6 for 8 from the field, 5 of 6 from three-point land, 17 points for Brandon Stevens. Jeff Mackey on the all-tournament team, he had 12 points for the Corsairs. Jim Thompson.
All right, thank you very much. We want to thank you folks along the South Coast for allowing us in your living room. UMass Dartmouth takes home the championship trophy, 77-59 winners over Husson College to capture the 2007 Hampton Inn Basketball Classic. For everyone associated with this telecast of UMass Dartmouth basketball, for my sidekick Rick Jalbert, and for the stat beast of the Little East, Bill Young, I'm Jim Thompson. Until next time, so long, everybody. That Coach White has his team ready to play here today. We talked about it in the pregame show, that perhaps this could be a trap game where the Indians would be looking at Brockton on Tuesday night, completely forgetting about this game, but they're very well prepared here today and have the lead at 20-0.
Well, they're well prepared and they're better.
Much better.
Much better.
Much better. It's just kind of a men amongst boys here, but